that decision to go, I want to become a real estate investor, most people go at that time, what exactly is that? You're on your path to becoming a lawyer, and then you go, hey, I want to do this. That's not really a profession per se, but it's just something that you go, this is what I'm going to do. So how many people at that time goes, what are you doing? I mean,
Yeah.
why would you go this route? Yeah, you got one, but that doesn't mean the second one's going to work out. The second, third one's going to work out. So what kept you going to go, no, this is what I'm going to do?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because back in those days, if I said I was a real estate investor, people go, well, yeah, but what's your job? Like that was always your what you do with the money that you made at your job. And so for me, I think it's just suddenly I just had this passion. It's like, man, if I did it once, I could do it again. And I was maybe a little bit of a dreamer because I didn't really have, if you would have known me back then, I was super shy. Like back in high school, I would sit at the back of the class. I never raised my hand. I'd hope the teacher would never look at me. And ironically, actually, I remember in university, I had a project where I had to do some research and then I had to present it live in front of in front of the class. And I was so terrified to stand in front of the class and speak that I actually skipped that day and I took a zero for it. And so getting on this path, I just almost feel like the universe just, for whatever reason, put me on this path and knew what was best for me, and it's led to me growing so much as a person. Like I went from not being able to speak on a stage to now regularly doing that. I was on the TEDx stage a year and a half ago in Las Vegas.
Mhm.
But it's just forced me to grow. And so I just think sometimes happen for a reason. It's not like back then I was thinking, oh, I can see myself. It just felt like finally I found something that I really enjoyed. And other people weren't really doing it, like I said, but I thought, man, if I can make this much money, and I remember being in my cubicle at the phone company and thinking, man, I made this much of the last 2 years at my job, and I made this much in real estate, and I don't even know what I'm doing in real estate. And once again, it got the better of my ego, and I thought I knew everything there was to know about real. It just seemed like a logical thing to do, even though it was like totally crazy. Like in hindsight, it was totally crazy that I did it. But I had burnt the bridges, and like I said, when that one deal that went really, really wrong, when once I told my mother I wasn't going to law school, and she said, Mike, go get your next degree so you have something to fall back on. And then if you want to go pursue real estate, you can do it. I told her, Mom, don't worry, I've got this. And when I screwed up on the next deal, I never to this day have never told her because I didn't want to, especially being a teenager or not teenager, but in your 20s, you never want to tell your parents they're right. And so it kind of propelled me, and I knew I had to figure it out. And so I knew there were a couple people in Calgary that were kind of doing real estate on at least a semi-regular basis. And that's how I found a mentor. But it just all, I don't know. I always feel like I end up on the right path, and I don't really, I like to actually thank the universe and be grateful for the fact that I always just seem to end up in the right place at the right time. And it was never really something I planned on. It just kind of was an evolution. And it's been a great journey that's helped me grow, not just as a business person, but also as a person in general. But it just felt right. It just felt like the right thing to do.